Danny Segura for MMAJunkie.com. I'm joined by Shane Burgos, who has a big featherweight bout coming up at the end of this month against Josh Emmett. This will be at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas. First of all, Shane, how are you? Last time I talked to you, you were going a little bit crazy under quarantine. I'm guessing now having a goal in mind and a fight has kept you busy and quite entertained, I'm assuming.
Yeah, you stole the words right out of my mouth. I've been busy with this, so yeah, man, I'm ready to fucking go. It's been a long training camp. I've been training for a while for this fight. Not specifically for this fight. I thought I was going to fight in May. Basically, got pushed back to June, so I've been training for a long, long time. I'm ready to get in there and get this shit over with, get the fight going.
Yeah, for sure. And also on top of that, you know, we've also did an interview on this, but you signed a new deal with the UFC, which is exciting stuff. How excited are you to sort of, does it feel different, like almost having like a new toy on Christmas, or is it kind of same thing? Because I mean, it's still the same fights, but I'm assuming you're getting more money in this new deal than the deal before.
Yeah, it feels exactly the same. But then when I think about it, I'm like, shit. I mean, it's really not the same at all. Like after I win this fight, I'm gonna be set. I'm gonna be in a really good spot financially.
Nice, yeah, and especially with this pandemic and pushing everything back, I'm assuming that must be pretty nice. But let's stop talking about money and let's talk about the actual matchup itself. It's an exciting fight, a fight that I think a lot of fans are looking forward to, given your style and his style as well. How did this opponent sort of come to you? Did the UFC offer it to you? Did you ask for it? How did this fight come about?
Yeah, the UFC basically just came up at me, and my management asked if we wanted this fight, and we said, fuck yeah, we want this fight. This is exactly what we planned. We wanted to fight guys that are ranked ahead of me. I'm 10, he's 8, so everybody else is basically not really booked up, but if you look at the rest of the division, everyone's kind of booked up. Like you have Yair versus Zabit in the works. You have Ortega versus Zombie in the works. You have the championship fight with Volkanovski, which just got announced today. And then every other fight was basically booked up, so this was the only one that was really available, not just for me, but for him too. So it worked out for me.
Yeah. So you say like this might be the best case scenario for you. I mean, it's someone not deep into the top 10, but certainly, you know, much higher position, being at 8.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. That's exactly like I said. I want to fight guys that are ahead of me. I want to fight guys that are going to get me towards that next step, towards that title. And this is a huge fight. Everybody knows who Josh Emmett is. He's a staple in the division. I feel like at this point, he's only been in the division for a little bit, but he's made his name known. He's had some big fights, some big wins, and I'm excited to leapfrog myself over him.
Yeah, for sure. And you fought like a mixture of the young guys, also some veterans. Here with Josh Emmett, you're getting someone who's a veteran, but like you said, you know, he hasn't been around like super long, so kind of in the middle. What are you? Yeah. What are some things you think you'll see or you'll get from him as far as from a style standpoint that the other opponents didn't offer, you know, in your previous fights?
I mean, I know he likes that knockout. He likes the knockout. He likes going for the knockout, which I like that kind of style. I like that fight. I can appreciate it as a fan, but I also like it as a fighter. Like for me, matching up myself against guys like that, he's looking for that big overhand right followed by that left hook. He'll shoot a blast double every now and then. Doesn't really throw too much off other than those. Those are his main two weapons on the feet. So I think after a while of him swinging and missing that air, because I have a huge reach advantage, I have a huge size advantage. I think he's gonna definitely try to wrestle. I think he might wrestle right off the bat just to get me thinking about it. So I know wrestling is going to be part of this fight for sure. My defense and his offense.
Yeah. And this fight's again like a big fight in the featherweight division. A win here, where do you think it puts you, and what kind of fights could be coming after that if you're able to make an impressive performance there?
Yeah, I not only have to win, but I have to win emphatically and dramatically. I got to. Everybody says it, but you got to make a statement. And I'm in the co-main event spot right now. This is a big spot for me, the biggest spot I ever had in my UFC career. It's the biggest fight of my UFC career. So I can't just go out there and just skate by, get a win. I want to go out there, not just win, but I want to dominate and I want to finish for sure. Obviously, we always want to finish. Easier said than done, but I'm embracing the pressure that's on me, and I'm putting all the pressure on me. Even though I think I might be a slight favorite, I'm looking at myself like the underdog, and I got to go out there and show up and show out.
Yeah. And as far as your training, how has it been? I mean, you're in New York, I believe on Monday started phase 1 of reopening. How has this whole process been? I mean, you've been in a long training camp as well. Would you say you have somewhat of a normal training camp? How are you feeling entering this bout?
It's been almost as normal as it could possibly be. The only thing we haven't had is basically an open gym. It's just been open just to the pros and the high level amateur fighters, which is the only guys that I go with anyway. So I was like, oh, that works out. So it's basically been the exact same thing. Our main MMA gym's been open for over a month now, so I've been doing all my main training there. But before that, my strength and conditioning gym, we have full mats. We have the walls are all padded and everything like that. So we were doing our sparring, we were doing our strength and conditioning, we were doing our wrestling at MMA, we were doing everything. Since March, since everything closed down, we haven't missed a beat. We just kept the ball rolling.
Yeah, and this actually just came to mind. You've always been the New York guy. Whenever there's a New York card, you're there, so representing. But
Yeah.
is this your first Vegas fight?
Yeah, it's my first Vegas fight.
Oh, nice.
It's my first West Coast fight. I've only fought in the Northeast.
That's interesting. Is that a little bit exciting? I know it's not in like a T-Mobile arena or anything like that. It's going to be at the Apex, obviously, due to the pandemic and the ban on large gatherings. But I mean, it's still the fight capital of the world, right?
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. I'm excited to go out there because I love Vegas. I've been to Vegas probably 10, 12 times now. This will be the first time I'm going for actual business, but I'm excited to be out there. Just the Vegas vibes, the heat. I love it. I love everything about Vegas.
Yeah. And there's also been a big discussion, not only a lack of crowd, but also in the UFC Apex that they're using the smaller cage. And, I still haven't quite figured out what impact it's had on the fights, but it seemed a lot of people are saying it's somewhat of a factor. Have you analyzed that and kind of implemented that in your camp?
But we have a smaller cage, so I'm used to that anyway. But so I honestly, I like the smaller cage. It forces the action. There's nowhere to really go. I think it favors. I personally think it favors the stand-up guy too as well. So that obviously works out for me. But as far as the other question, asking about the fights, I think the fights. I mean, since they've been at the Apex, I feel like every card has been a fire. Like there's been fights that you can throw in there for fight of the year. Like there's been some crazy fights so far. So I definitely like the smaller cage.
Yeah, for sure. And I also want to get your thoughts on the big featherweight fight, obviously a title fight rematch that got announced really just moments before this interview. And you kind of mentioned it there at the beginning. Alexander Volkanovski will be defending his title in a rematch against Max Holloway. What are your feelings on this fight? What do you think is going to happen? And who do you think is going to retain the belt?
I'm excited for that fight, honestly. It's a fun fight. It's a rematch. The first fight was Alex won, but I don't think it was a landslide or anything like that. He didn't blow him out. You got to give Max the respect he deserves. He's been the champ for so long. So I think he definitely deserves the immediate rematch. And there was no clear-cut number one contender. As for how it goes, I think Max is really good at making adjustments. He wasn't able to make it in that first fight, which I was actually really surprised about. But I think he might be able to do it in this fight after sitting back, analyzing his performance in the last one. If I had to pick, I think it's a really close fight. I think it's like 49-51. I'm leaning slightly towards Max.
Interesting.
I'm excited just because it's in Fight Island, honestly. That card is insane. You got Usman versus Burns. You got the Volkanovski fight. You got the Aldo Yan fight. That card is going to be so fun.
Yeah, I believe that's UFC 251, if I'm not mistaken. Originally, I thought Fight Island was going to be sort of only for the international, fighters, since, most of the fights we've seen have only really been U.S. fighters, U.S.-based fighters. We've seen a lot of fighters do, with all the number of cards that have been rolling out, we've seen a lot of fighters do quick turnarounds and jump right back in there. If you're able to have the performance that you want to have and sort of get in and out fairly quick and do something impressive, is Fight Island and maybe a quick turnaround a thing you would think about, or would you like?
If the matchup is right, quick turnaround, definitely. Especially if I plan on being unscathed, 100% a quick turnaround. But I'd rather wait till August so I can stay in the States. I have no desire to fight on Fight Island, if I'm being honest. I would love to go there as a spectator, which I know is impossible. I'd love to check it out and be part of the environment, but I don't want to fight on Fight Island, man. That's like a 16-hour flight. I don't want to deal with that while I'm cutting weight.
Yeah, also, I haven't been to that part of the world, but I also hear it's quite hot and it's going to be, during the summer. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes over there.
They had that last one in Abu Dhabi in September, and it was like 100 degrees inside the arena. I was like, you saw the guys were like just pouring sweat, and I was like, that doesn't look fun at all.
Yeah, we'll see how that rolls out. And certainly that featherweight fight is going to be an exciting bout. But also your fight's going to be pretty exciting, so looking forward to that. Shane, I appreciate the time like always, man. Best of luck against Josh Emmett here, and like I said, I can't wait for that fight. Looking forward to it.
Thank you, man. It's going to be a fucking barn burner. It's going to be all those cliche things that everybody says about this fight. This is exactly what it's going to be. I'm going to make a statement, making the most out of this situation, and you guys are going to be entertained.